The ocean is a powerful force. It is a vast, untamed expanse that has captivated and challenged humanity for centuries. Its depths hold mysteries, and its surface can be both a playground and a battleground. It can be beautiful and serene, a place of tranquility where the gentle lapping of waves can soothe the soul. The sunrise over a calm sea can inspire awe and wonder, a reminder of nature's gentle side. But it can also be wild and unforgiving, transforming in an instant into a scene of chaos and danger. Storms can whip the ocean into a frenzy, with towering waves and howling winds that test the limits of human endurance. In 1982, Steven Callahan faced the ocean's fury. He set out on a solo voyage across the Atlantic, seeking adventure and the thrill of the open sea. He was a skilled sailor, confident in his abilities, and prepared for the challenges ahead. The ocean was his domain, a place where he felt at home. But disaster struck, and he was left fighting for his life. His boat was damaged, and he found himself adrift, alone in the vast expanse of the ocean. Callahan's story is one of incredible resilience. Stranded on a life raft, he faced the ultimate test of survival. With limited supplies and no immediate hope of rescue, he had to rely on his wits and determination. He endured 76 days adrift on a life raft, battling hunger, thirst, and storms. He faced down sharks and despair. Each day was a struggle, a fight to stay alive against overwhelming odds. But through it all, his spirit never broke. He found strength in the smallest of victories, in the hope that kept him going even when the situation seemed hopeless. His story is a testament to the power of the human will. It shows that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, the human spirit can endure and triumph. It shows us that even in the darkest of times, hope can endure. The sight of a sunrise, the break of dawn after a long night, can reignite the flame of hope and the will to survive. It is a story that will stay with you long after you finish reading it. Callahan's journey is not just a tale of survival, but a profound reflection on the human condition and our capacity for resilience. It is a story that will inspire you to never give up, no matter the odds. It reminds us that with hope, determination, and the will to survive, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges. Steven Callahan loved the sea. He was drawn to its vastness, its power. He was an experienced sailor, confident in his abilities. In 1981, he set sail from the Canary Islands on his way across the Atlantic, alone in his sailboat, the Napoleon Solo. The Napoleon Solo was Callahan's home. He had designed and built her himself, knowing every inch of the vessel. The journey was challenging. Callahan faced strong winds and rough seas, but he was in his element, at one with the ocean. He felt alive. The early days of the voyage were good. The weather was fair, and Callahan made good time. He was confident he would reach his destination. One night, everything changed. A fierce storm raged. The waves were monstrous, towering over Callahan's small boat. He fought to keep the Napoleon Solo afloat. Suddenly, there was a crash. Callahan was thrown across the cabin. Something had struck the boat. Water was rushing in. Callahan struggled to regain control. He assessed the damage. It was bad, very bad. The Napoleon Solo was sinking. Callahan had no choice. He had to abandon ship. He scrambled into his life raft. He grabbed his emergency supplies and watched as the Napoleon Solo slipped beneath the waves. He was alone. Callahan was adrift in the vast Atlantic Ocean, a place where the horizon seemed to stretch into infinity and the waves whispered tales of the unknown. His life raft, a tiny speck bobbing on the endless waves, was his only sanctuary in this immense, watery desert. Fear threatened to consume him, but he pushed it back. He had to survive. The thought of his loved ones waiting for him gave him strength. He took stock of his supplies. He had a sextant, a few flares, and some emergency rations. Each item was a lifeline, a thread of hope in the vast expanse. He also had a small emergency kit he had prepared himself, meticulously packed with the essentials he hoped he would never need. It contained a solar still, a spear gun, and other vital tools. These were not just objects, they were his companions in this lonely battle. These items, he knew, would be crucial to his survival. Every piece of gear had a purpose, every tool a story of human ingenuity. He rationed his food and water carefully, knowing that every drop, every morsel, could mean the difference between life and death. He measured each sip and bite with precision. Every morsel, every drop, was a precious commodity. He savored each bite, each sip, as if it were his last. The sun beat down mercilessly, turning the raft into a sweltering oven. The relentless heat was a constant reminder of his vulnerability. The salt water chapped his lips, leaving them dry and cracked. Each breath he took was a struggle against the harsh elements. He was alone, but he was determined to live. His resolve was unshakable, his spirit unbroken. In the face of overwhelming odds, he clung to hope, knowing that his will to survive was his greatest weapon. Section 5. Life on a Raft. Days turned into nights, and nights into days. The sun rose and set, a constant reminder of the passage of time. Callahan fought to maintain his sanity amidst the endless waves and isolation. The life raft was small and cramped, offering little comfort or space. The ocean, vast and unforgiving, stretched out in every direction, a seemingly infinite expanse of water. He used his sextant to navigate, relying on the stars to guide him through the desolate sea. He caught fish with his spear gun, a vital source of food. He collected rainwater, a precious resource in the middle of the ocean. He even managed to distill drinking water using his solar still, a small victory in his struggle for survival. It was a meager existence, but it was survival. The sea tested him every single day. Storms threatened to tear his flimsy raft apart, the violent waves crashing against his fragile sanctuary. Sharks circled, drawn to the lone man in their domain, their presence a constant reminder of the dangers lurking beneath. But Callahan refused to give up. His determination was unwavering, his spirit unbroken. He fought to stay alive, one day at a time, repairing his raft and paddling towards an uncertain future. He clung to the belief that he would be found, that rescue would come. His hope was his lifeline, keeping him going through the darkest times. Section 6. Hunger and Thirst. Hunger gnawed at Callahan's stomach. Thirst parched his throat. He ate what he could catch, small fish, birds, even barnacles. He dreamed of fresh water and real food. He battled dehydration. His skin became cracked and blistered. His body grew weak. He knew he was pushing his body to its limits, but he refused to give in. He had to stay strong. He thought about his family and friends. Their faces kept him going. They gave him something to live for. They gave him hope. Section 7. The Fight for Survival. The ocean was relentless. It threw storms at Callahan, testing his will. The waves crashed over his raft, threatening to engulf him. But Callahan held on. He bailed water furiously, fighting to stay afloat. He repaired tears in the raft with his bare hands. He refused to let the sea claim him. He was battered and bruised, but his spirit remained unbroken. He knew the ocean could be his graveyard. He had seen its power, but he also saw its beauty. Its vastness filled him with a strange sense of peace. He was a part of something bigger than himself. Section 8. Hope and Despair. Hope and despair warred within Callahan. One moment he was filled with the certainty of rescue. The next, he was consumed by doubt. Would he ever see land again? He saw ships on the horizon, but they were always too far away. His flares were useless. They went unnoticed. He was losing hope. He considered giving up. It would be so easy to let go, to slip beneath the waves, but something deep inside him refused to yield. He had come too far to surrender now. Section 9. Rescue at Sea. After 76 days adrift, Callahan's luck changed. Fishermen spotted his raft. They were skeptical at first. Was it just debris? Then they saw him, a scarecrow of a man, barely clinging to life. They pulled him aboard their boat. He was weak, emaciated, sunbeaten, but he was alive. He had survived. The fishermen radioed for help. A helicopter arrived. Callahan was airlifted to a hospital. He had cheated death. The world marveled at his story. He became a symbol of hope, a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure. Section 10. Life after the ocean. Callahan's recovery was long and arduous. He had lost over a third of his body weight. He had severe muscle wasting. He was physically and mentally scarred, but he was determined to rebuild his life. He wrote a book about his experience, Adrift: 76 Days Lost at Sea, it became an international bestseller. He shared his story with the world. He inspired millions with his courage and resilience. He showed that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, the human spirit can triumph. Section 11. Never give up. Steven Callahan's story is a powerful reminder that we are capable of so much more than we think. It is a story about the importance of hope, even when all seems lost. It teaches us that the human spirit is unbreakable, that we have within us the strength to overcome any obstacle. Callahan's story is an inspiration to us all. It shows us that no matter how dire the situation, we must never give up hope. We must never stop fighting. We must never surrender to despair, because as long as there is life, there is hope. And as long as there is hope, anything is possible.